Hello, welcome. Aperam is the first stainless steel player to be certified by Responsible Steel. I'm delighted to host a round table where we're going to speak to many of the players about this. I'm delighted to welcome Tim Di Maulo, who's the CEO of Aperam, Anne-Claire Howard, who serves as CEO of Responsible Steel, Bert Liesens, who's the CHRO responsible for Human Resources and Communications, Bernard Hallemans, the CEO of Stainless and Electrical Steel Europe, Gert Vebeck, who's the Chief Technology Officer of Aperam with responsibilities for health, safety and environment, industrial risk and innovation and purchasing, and last but not least, Nicolas Changeur, the CEO for Services and Solutions and Chief Marketing Officer for Stainless and Electrical Steel Europe. We're doing a COVID-safe program. It's a round table, but everybody's going to come in separately. So I'm going to start with you, Anne-Claire. Delighted to see you. First of all, can you explain to us the association that you're representing? Is it just another kind of like FSC label, like for organic food? What is it?
That's one way to describe it. Responsible Steel is a multi-stakeholder organization. So we bring together business throughout the entire steel supply chain, from mine through steelmaker all the way down to consumer, as well, and this is really important, as well as civil society actors. The idea is to bring these two segments together to agree on what the responsible production of steel looks like and develop standards and certifications encompassing the entire environmental, social and governance framework.
Now, I'm sure you have an idea how to spur quicker decarbonisation. If I ask you on the spot, what would you say was the priority?
It's a very complex question, so I'm going to try and give you a short answer on that one. Decarbonisation is the biggest challenge we face as a species. And for steel, it's a particularly complex challenge because there are different ways of making steel. Now, I'm not going to go into the details of steel making because there are much wiser people who can tell you about it. But the way to spur decarbonisation comes from two approaches. On the one hand, you have the steelmakers themselves, how they can modernise their equipment, adopt new technologies, find ways of making steel with less carbon. On the other hand, you have their consumers, their buyers, and how can they make the right demands, send the right demand signals to these steel producers so that together they can work on lowering the carbon footprint throughout the entire supply chain.
That was very concise. Thank you so much indeed. Anyway, thank you for being here. I'm going to ask you to leave it with that COVID performance. And I'm delighted to welcome in your place Tim Di Maulo, who's the CEO of Aperam, the lucky winners of this certification. Tim, in a few sentences, Aperam, could you just sell it to us?
Okay, so Aperam is a company which is producing stainless steel, special steel, alloys. We are in three main areas: Brazil, Europe, and we have a comprehensive network of distribution and service centers all around the world in 40 countries. We have 9,400 people, which are passionate people in the company, and they are of different nationalities.
Now, you're quite a young company, aren't you? If I asked you to tell us what you've achieved already since you've been existing.
We are a very young company. We have only 10 years of story, but in these 10 years we have done a fantastic journey, which has been a journey to increase our competitiveness, to focus on people, on the standard of the company, on health and safety, and we can really lead in terms of sustainability today.
Now, lots of companies talk about their CSR. Pitch yours. Tell me about yours.
So, first of all, I do believe, and we do believe in people. And when you say this, you have to focus on what is necessary and important for people. First of all, health and safety, the ethics you put in place, and everything which is in the comprehensive, let's say, three letters ESG, so environmental, social, and governance. And this has been a work of all the team during these years.
Now, as an industrial activity company, your environmental impact is obviously absolutely crucial and very much in the spotlight, but obviously it eats into your profitability a bit. It must do.
No, it's the contrary. It's exactly the contrary. First of all, what are we producing is mostly stainless steel. Stainless steel is a fantastic product because it is durable, he has not a necessity of maintenance, of coating, etc. And in theory, if it was not expensive, you could do everything which is around you in stainless steel. You do only the most, let's say, demanding products, but everything could be done in stainless steel and be durable and infinitely recyclable. And second, with the scrap and with the charcoal, we are part of a circular economy, which is also competitiveness. We have charcoal in Brazil, in sustainable forest, and we are more than 90% of scrap base for all the stainless steel we produce.
Okay, well, congratulations anyway for the certification. Thank you very much, Tim. Bert Lissens, who is the CHRO responsible for human resources and communications. Thank you very much. Our COVID arrangements for the round table. We're going to talk a little bit later about CO2, but I want to discuss the social aspects of your ESG performance. How exactly do you engage with your employees?
Well, we do employee engagement surveys. So we do a service whereby we cover all employees in the company and we gather their feedback in an anonymous way. Then we discuss the results with them and we put action plans in place, both at the local level and at the global level. And next to that, I think we are strong believers in management proximity. And this has been especially important during the COVID crisis, because there, of course, in a context of social distancing and working from home for a lot of people, being close to people, being attentive to people was even more important. And then we've been recognized for that as well by our professional federation. We received an award on how we handled the COVID crisis by our ESSF.
Isn't it difficult, though, to have a guiding principle in this? What would you say was yours?
Our guiding principle is the fact that we strongly believe that people are our most important asset. And the fact that we are here to celebrate this success today is also a result of that. It's thanks to the hard work and the teamwork of our people. And I would say next to that, we also work a lot on accountability, entrepreneurship, agility, resilience, and developing our people through learning and coaching. And I think they appreciate that. I think the proof is in the results of the latest climate survey. If I look at the overall score, it was at 86%, so it proves that people appreciate our efforts.
But between you and me, Bert, do you really need a certification? It seems like people know that you're doing quite well.
Well, as an HR professional, I can say that being recognized as a front runner in sustainability is absolutely essential and helps us a lot in attracting and retaining the best talent. So we hope that the Responsible Steel framework continues to focus on the social topics like human rights, diversity, and stakeholder engagement and labor conditions. And I would say, to summarize, I think having our responsible practices validated by an external third party is a definite plus for us, especially for the younger generations who tend to be skeptical when it comes to green communication, and they ought to be.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, well, thank you very much indeed. Dank u wel. Bernard Hannemans, who's the CEO, Stainless and Electrical Steel Europe. Bernard, goeiedag. How are you? Why have you decided to go down the certification route with Responsible Steel? Could you tell us about that?
Well, in fact, we already started in 2019, so we joined Responsible Steel quite early because, in our view, it was an excellent way to test, to benchmark our practices in terms of corporate responsibility. So it engaged us, and it gave us the possibility also to engage with customers, with suppliers, and with all stakeholders to come to a standard which is very comprehensive. We talk about 12 principles, so it goes far beyond CO2 alone. CO2 and decarbonization is a major challenge, of course, but it goes far beyond that. And so the fact that we arrived today at this stage makes me very proud, and is also proof that we do what we are saying since a long time.
And for the future, what do you, how's this going to affect you in the future?
Well, in the future, it will help us to further improve, I would say, a comprehensive approach on the matter. Through the certification that we went through, we already have a good basis, and we have the proof that we have a good basis in many best practices that we have already in the company, like on health and safety, like on becoming a zero waste company, in communication channels with our stakeholders. But it will help us to further improve for sure.
Okay, well, thank you, Bel. Thank you very much indeed, Bernard. Gert Verbeek, you're the Chief Technology Officer at Aperam. You have responsibilities for health, so you're very happy about our COVID arrangements for this roundtable. Health, safety and the environment, industrial risk and innovation and purchasing. Well, obviously I'm going to grill you about the carbon footprint. You have 1 minute, convince me.
Well, let me first remind you that we are making a product which is at the end a fantastic product, like Tim already explained. It is infinitely recyclable, and we are already producing it with the best-in-class practices and footprint. And this is leading us that we have already a CO2 reduction realized of 35% versus 2007. But of course, we are not stopping over there. What we are doing now is we are implementing a new ambitious, but I think also realistic plan by which we can further, let's say, go down with our CO2 footprint. And we think that reaching levels of 30% reduction versus by 2030 versus the reference year 2015 is feasible. And beyond that, we aim for to be fully carbon neutral latest by 2050. And in this way, I'm convinced that we will be contributing, let's say, to this low carbon world.
You convinced me. You had 1 minute to do it, and it's perfect. Thank you very much indeed. Nicolas Changeur, who's CEO for Services and Solutions and Chief Marketing Officer for Stainless and Electrical Steel Europe. Hello, thank you very much indeed. Now, as we've just been hearing, the environment and society clearly benefit from Aperam's commitment to sustainability. But what about the customer?
So it's a very good question, Alex. So first of all, our customers need to be convinced about the value of sustainability for them, but also of what they purchase. And we see more and more interest from our customers, but I must say that for the moment, we don't see any change in their behavior of purchasing. So I believe that we still have a way to go before that they really value, in fact, a sustainable product like we produce.
But what surprises me a little bit, everybody's talking about it. What do we need to do to raise awareness of sustainability?
It's also, it's a complex question where, first of all, I think it starts from public policies and also regulations, which then will help a customer to invest into a sustainable product. But also we have to understand the customer needs and to educate them and explain to them what we can do in order to help them to be more sustainable and to differentiate them versus their competitors.
What specifically is Aperam doing?
Alors, Aperam, you know, is doing a lot. And first, we are highlighting our performance on sustainability to our customers. And our customer needs to know that you have big differences between stainless competitors. If you take, for example, scrap is a key marker for the reduction of CO2 emissions, but also for biodiversity. And if you compare our products, for example, to imports, I can tell you that we produce our standard product with more than 80% less CO2 emission than imported product. And I think it's really very significant. And so for that, our customers are more and more interested to know and to have qualitative information. And I think that with responsible steel, we are really setting a new standard in the industry, because they have now an external proof, a trustworthy proof of what they purchase. And this makes, I hope, all the difference.
Just very briefly, it's very difficult doing all this as well in COVID time. We're doing things differently. Has it been very challenging?
It is, of course, very challenging, but we have all technologies to get people together in order to achieve this kind of important task.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much. And I'm going to ask Tim to come back for a few words. You've been listening to all the speakers in our round table. What would you like to add as a conclusion?
Alex, I think that my team has done a perfect work in showing what is the engagement of Aperam in terms of sustainability and responsibility. We are fully engaged. We believe in the value of people, in the value of this organization, and we are in the best in class for the principle and to apply this principle in our real life. Now we want to do much more. And what we are doing is we want to be the champion of the circular economy. What I mean for that? We are already recycling, using as a main source of our raw material scrap, which means that we recycle and we use at 90% the scrap as a raw material. This is part of the circular economy. We are using forest in a sustainable way, certified, to replace coke from mines, and this also is a circular economy. What we are investing is not only in our industry, in the process, in the mills, in the furnaces, but we are also investing in ELG, is a company which is one of the biggest company in the collect and the recycling of scrap. We have Resico, and with this, you have to take in mind that nearly 30% of our people are working in the circular economy, which is a unique asset in the world.
Well, anyway, congratulations. I think I've understood a lot better in this program why you've got this certification, and certainly understood a little bit more about your convictions. So thank you to you, and thank you for watching, and to all who've taken part in this roundtable. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.